and welcome to Mondays with May from Arts for All. My name is Mélissa, and I am a teaching artist with Arts for All. If you've had me in your classroom, or if you've been watching, you might recognize me as Miss May. Hello. For those of you that don't know Arts for All offers accessible artistic opportunities to children in the New York City area. We are always incorporating our 5 core values, working to build self-confidence, self-expression, teamwork, resilience, and creativity in children. And while our focus remains in New York City, through all of our virtual learning opportunities, we are so happy to have children from anywhere view our free learning content and, of course, join this Mondays with May series right here with me. I'm coming to you live from my apartment in Brooklyn, New York. I wonder where you might be watching from. If you're watching live or on the replay, tell us in the comments, where are you watching from? Well, today is October 25th, and it is International Artist Day. Woohoo! So we are celebrating. We are celebrating all of the artists out there. Maybe that's you. I think most of you have an artist in you. So we are going to be celebrating artists today. Let's start off by moving our body. We're going to warm up. So I'm going to stand up. You can follow me as best you can. And if you need to change anything so that it feels more comfortable or more safe on your body and in your space, you go ahead and do that. Change it any way you need. I'm going to start by sending my energy upwards. Upwards energy. What does it look like on your body to send your energy up? And now send your energy down. Down, 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 downwards energy. Down, down, down. And again, up, 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 up. Send it up, upwards energy. And downwards energy. Down, 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 down. All the way down. How far down can you send your energy? All the way down to the bottom. All right. Now, from the middle, we're going to reach over to one side. And when you reach, say, ooh. Ooh. And reach to the other side. And this time say, ah. Ah. Again. Ooh. Ooh. Ah. Ah. Now I'm going to open real big. And I'm going to say, wow, 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 wow. And then I'm going to do and say, twist, 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 twist. Let's do it again. Ooh, other way. Ah, real big. Wow, 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 wow. And twist, twist. Now we're going to isolate our head. And I'm going to look up to the ceiling and down to my toes. Up to the ceiling and down to my toes. The ceiling, toes, ceiling, toes, ceiling, toes, ceiling, toes, ceiling, toes. And nod your head. Say yeah, uh-huh, yeah, yeah, uh-huh, uh-huh, uh-huh. Yes, yes, yes. Now look over one shoulder, over the other shoulder, over one shoulder, over the other shoulder. Look from shoulder to shoulder, shoulder to shoulder, looking shoulder, 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 shoulder. Shake your head. Say no, uh-uh. No means no. No way. No means no. All right, today we are going to paint our bubbles. We are all artists. So you can dip your hands and your feet in this imaginary paint. Imagine there's a big bucket of paint at your feet. All right, any color you want. And you're going to paint your bubble of personal space with your hands reaching all over. You gotta get the top of your bubble, the front, the sides of your bubble. You can use your feet, dunk your feet in that bucket of paint and get the walls. Paint those walls. You can paint a design on there, paint some circles. You can paint the floor. You can dip some other part of you in there. Maybe you want to paint with your elbows and just need a really cool design on the inside of your bubble. This looks really good. These bubbles look really good. It's like being in a museum, all this abstract artwork. Now we're going to burst our bubbles by shaking it out. I'm going to shake, 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 and count down from 10 to 0. You can count with me. Here we go. 10, get all the paint off. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. I'm returning to my seat. Do you feel warmed up and artistic? Are your artistic juices flowing? So as I mentioned, today is International Artist Day. And International Artist Day doesn't just celebrate artists in general. It celebrates the most famous artist, one of the most famous artists, the Spanish painter Pablo Picasso, who was born on this day in 1881. Super long time ago. We are going to look at some drawings by Pablo Picasso. I'm not going to talk much about them, just take a look, see what you like, maybe get some inspiration. Let's see what was all the huff and fuss about Pablo Picasso. Okay, this is nice. We're going to look at 10 of his most popular drawings. Ooh, the butterfly. A dog. You can see his signature there on the bottom. I think this is the dove of peace. Owl. Ooh. Pigs. This is Don Quixote. I can't remember the name of this one. Ooh, this is interesting. This one's different than the others. Lots of different shades. It looks like you can see the different shading with the pencil. Look at this rooster. This one makes me laugh. Can you make the face that this rooster is making? Can you imagine what sound this rooster would be making? All right, so there you have it. Some top 10 drawings from Pablo Picasso. And today we are going to read a book that features a young artist, maybe like some of the young artists out there. So let's get ready to read our book. Today's book is called Milo Imagines the World. Cool. This is the cover. This is the back cover. I'll open it up so you can see it's full. This book is by Matt de la Peña with illustrations by Christian Robinson. I've been reading a lot of books by this duo lately. I really like them. This book is written by Matt de la Peña, but it's based on something that is true in Christian Robinson's life. And he wanted to share the story, something that was true to him, so that people would know that they're not alone. And Matt de la Peña said that when he wrote the words, he wrote it like a poem. So sometimes a poem has really imaginative language in it. It's not always very literal. So let's listen as we're reading. You can hear nice rhymes, the way that the sounds go together, and images that the words bring to us. Let's take the jacket off of this book and see if there are any surprises. This is the jacket. A lot of books have jackets that come off. Ooh, I love this. This book is called Milo Imagines the World, and this is such an imaginative drawing. All right, let's dive in. Some more. I'm guessing that this is what Milo is imagining. Because have you ever seen a giraffe and a rhino and a flamingo walking down the street with the people? I haven't. What begins as a slow, distant glow grows and grows into a tired train that clatters down the tracks. A cool rush of wind quiets into a screech of steel. And when the doors slide open, Milo slips aboard. Have you ever ridden the subway? If you're watching from New York City, chances are you are very familiar with the subway. If you're watching from someplace else, it's possible you might not be familiar with this setting. This is the subway train. A lot of times it comes underground, and it helps us New Yorkers get from place to place. The train bucks back into motion as he and his sister squeeze onto bench seats. The whiskered man beside Milo has a face of concentration. A businessman has a blank, lonely face. The wedding-dressed woman near the far door has a face made out of light. What is a face made out of light? What do you think that means? What do you think Milo sees in this woman's face that he would describe it as made out of light? That's beautiful imagery. While the dog peeking out of her handbag has no face at all, just a long, lolling tongue. These monthly Sunday subway rides are never ending, and as usual, Milo is a shook up soda. Excitement stacked on top of worry, on top of confusion, on top of love. Whoa, those are so many feelings. Have you ever shaken up a soda? Do you know what happens when you have a can or a bottle of soda and you shake, 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 shake? What happens when you open the top? It explodes. So I think that Milo's having a lot of feelings inside. Let's think about these feelings. Excitement. What does it look like or feel like when you're feeling excitement? Stacked on top of worry. What does it look like or feel like when you're feeling worried? On top of confusion. What does it feel like or look like when you're feeling confusion? On top of love. What does it look like and feel like when you're feeling love? Those are a lot of different emotions all going on all at once inside of Milo. Maybe some of you have felt that way before. I'm going to read this part again and think about all those feelings. These monthly Sunday subway rides. So he does this ride once a month on a Sunday. I wonder why. Are never ending. And as usual, Milo is a shook up soda. Excitement stacked on top of worry, on top of confusion, on top of love. To keep himself from bursting, he studies the faces around him and makes pictures of their lives. At a downtown local stop, the whiskered man folds up his crossword and hurries off the train. Milo imagines him trudging through brown mounds of slush. It's a 5-flight climb to his cluttered apartment, where he's greeted by mewling cats and burrowing rats. Do you think that sounds nice? I don't think it does. I don't think that trudging through brown mounds of slush is a happy home. So Milo is imagining this man in a very particular way. Parakeets tweet songs of longing as the man sips tepid soup. Tepid soup is soup that is not quite hot and not quite cold. Hunched over a game of solitaire. Solitaire is a card game that you can only play all by yourself. Late that night, the door to the parakeet cage mysteriously falls open, and the cats gather on the cold sill to watch the birds fly free above the city. Milo imagines this man is very lonely. Milo tugs his sister's sleeve and holds up his picture. But even when she turns to look, he can tell she doesn't see. She's a shook-up soda too. Ooh. Milo's sister might also be feeling the stack of excitement, stacked on top of worry, stacked on top of confusion, on top of love. A boy in a suit boards the train with his dad. His hair is a perfect part, and there's not a single scuff on his bright white Nikes. Milo imagines the clop, 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 clop of the horse-drawn carriage that will carry him to his castle. Imagines the clink, clink, clink of the guards slowly lowering the drawbridge. Across the human-made moat, the boy is met by a butler, two maids, and a gourmet chef offering crust-free sandwich squares. Ooh, Milo imagines this boy in the suit is very fancy. Milo flips to a fresh page at a bustling midtown stop. When the wedding-dressed woman strides off the train, a band of street performers launches into "Here Comes the Bride," and everyone on the platform stops and cheers. Woohoo! Everyone's cheering on the bride. Milo imagines the grand cathedral ceremony where the couple will be pronounced husband and wife. Imagines the groom whisking his new bride to an awaiting hot air balloon where the pilot loads them in with blankets and blasts of heat, and up, up they go hand in hand, beyond the concrete walls of the city into the infinite blue. Up, up, up. Milo holds up this picture too, but his sister shoos him away. Can't you see I'm playing my game? He watches her thumbs bang around her smudged screen, then turns back to the boy in the suit. They lock eyes for a few long seconds, and suddenly it feels like the walls are closing in around Milo. Milo is used to watching everyone, but now that someone else is watching him, it's making him a bit uncomfortable. The spell is broken when a crew of breakers bounds onto the train, announcing, "You all ready for a show?" Several curious faces look up as the beat drops, and now the girls are walking up the walls. They're whirling around poles, they're backflipping over shopping bags. When the train pulls into the next stop, they collect a few dollars and scramble for another car. Do you think that the passengers on the train are enjoying this performance? How can you tell if the passengers are enjoying the performance? Milo imagines them going from train to train, doing their act as everyone watches. But even after the performances are over, faces still follow their every move when they walk down the electronics aisle at the department store, when they cross into the fancy neighborhood. Milo doesn't really like this picture, so he puts away his pad and turns to his reflection in the window. What do people imagine about his face? Can they see him reciting his volcano poem to the class? Can they hear his mom's soothing voice reading him a bedtime book over the phone? His mom calls him to read his bedtime stories. Can they smell the Chile Colorado bubbling in a pot in his auntie's apartment near the cemetery? Do you think you could tell all of these things just by looking at someone's face? Butterflies flood Milo's stomach when it's finally their stop. He follows his sister onto the cold station platform and up the stairs. Above ground, he's surprised to see the boy in the suit a few paces ahead. There's the boy in the suit. There's Milo and his sister. So I guess the boy in the suit isn't going to his fancy castle with butlers and maids. He's going to the same place Milo and his sister are going. He's even more surprised when the boy joins the long line to pass through the metal detector. Milo's sister suddenly bends to give him a hug. "I didn't mean to snap at you," she says. She takes his hand, adding, "You have your picture ready?" He nods, feeling the warmth of her fingers. As they slowly shuffle forward, Milo studies the boy in the suit, his dad rubbing his thin shoulders, and a thought occurs to him. Maybe you can't really know anyone just by looking at their face. Maybe you can't really know anyone just by looking at their face. Milo tries to reimagine all the pictures he made on the train. Maybe he could have done it like this instead. Maybe the whiskered man is at home with his family. Or this. Maybe the wedding dressed lady wasn't on her way to a big cathedral. Maybe she's marrying her wife in the park. Or this. It says, "Welcome home." Maybe the break dancers aren't looked at funny in the fancy neighborhood. Maybe they live in the fancy neighborhood. Milo's chest fills with excitement when he spots his mom through the crowd. His sister rushes to give her a hug before pulling Milo in too. And it's in this tight tangle of familiar arms that he feels most alive. So there's Milo with his mom and his sister all hugging. So I can tell from this picture that Milo's mom and the boy in the suit's mom, they are in a correctional facility. And when you're in a correctional facility, you don't get to have visitors every day. Maybe you only get to have them once a month. That's why Milo and his sister take the monthly Sunday subway rides. And this is why Milo is feeling all of those feelings. Excitement on top of worry, on top of confusion, on top of love, because his mom is in a correctional facility away from home. And when he gets his bedtime stories, it's over the phone. When they separate, Milo flips through his pad until he finds the right picture. "I made this for you," he says, holding it up. and he watches for the smile he hopes will spread across his mom's face. There it is. How do you think Milo's mom might feel towards Milo and his sister, towards having them visit her here once a month? Maybe she also feels excitement, worry, confusion, or love. I think she definitely feels love. And there's that smile Milo was hoping for. And here is the picture. That's Milo and his sister and mom having ice cream on their stoop. Maybe this is something they got to do regularly before Milo's mom went into the correctional facility. So, as I mentioned, Christian Robinson wanted to make this story because his mother was out of the home for a lot of his childhood in a correctional facility. And he wanted people to know, other children to know who maybe have family members in correctional facilities, that they are not alone, or whatever it is, whatever a thing is that might make you feel a lot of different feelings, confusion, worry, excitement, all of those feelings together. Whatever it is that you're going through, chances are you're not the only one going through that thing, and you're not alone, and you won't always be able to tell all of someone else's full story just by looking at them. So there's that. I love this book. It's Milo Imagines the World. I love it so much I dressed up as Milo today. All right, let's get ready for our 60-second dance break and have some fun. Today's 60-second dance break is to the song Down, Down, Up, Up by Kymberly Stewart. You can find their music at Kymberly Stewart Music. Move your body, 60 seconds. Don't stop dancing. Here we go. Down, 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 down. Up, 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 down, 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 down. And now we're gonna go to the left and to the right. Let's go! To the left, to the left, to the right, to the right, to the left, to the left, to the right, to the right. Now free! Back to the top. We're going down, 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 down. Up, 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 up. Down, down, up, down, down, up, down. All right, nice dance moves, everybody. Now let's cool down a bit. I'm going to take 3 deep breaths. I'm going to use my hands to scoop the air around me. Join me. One more. Now give yourself a squeeze. And as you give yourself a squeeze, I want you to remember that anything you are going through, anything that makes you feel so many emotions all at once, like a shook up soda, you are not alone. Go ahead and remind yourself of that. Before we say goodbye for today, I want to offer you some things to keep the conversations from today going. One thing is you can check out more work from Pablo Picasso. We are putting a link in the comments to pablopicasso.org. You can go on a tour, make sure you do it with a grown-up, of lots of different artwork from the famous artist Pablo Picasso. The next thing you can do is people watch. People watching is a really fun activity you can do while you have to wait. Maybe if you're waiting for a train or on the train or waiting for time to pass. People watch and see what stories do you come up with about the people that you see. And then I want you to remember that those stories aren't necessarily true. And ask yourself, why did I think that about that person? It can be a really interesting way to learn about yourself, actually, and to learn about how you see the world. And for teachers and grown-ups, if you want some resources, how to talk to your students and young ones about examining your own implicit biases and other topics from Milo Imagines the World and other Matt de la Peña and Christian Robinson books, there is a wonderful resource that helped me today that we will also put in the comments for you to keep those conversations going and for the grown-ups to look inward as well as they lead those conversations. The last thing is to make a drawing. Maybe you want to make a drawing inspired by Pablo Picasso drawings I showed earlier. I made this one. No, this is not the original. I know what you're thinking. How did Miss May get an original Picasso piece in her home? I made this. Yeah, I know. Not to toot my own horn, but I feel really good about this one. It's definitely going on the wall. So maybe you want to make a drawing inspired by a Picasso drawing I showed you or that you find on the website. Or maybe you want to draw something from your imagination like Milo did. Whatever it is you make, we would love to see it. So please send us pictures of your artwork. You can email it to the email on the screen. And if you have a moment to fill out a really quick 2-question survey about your viewing experience today, there's a link for that survey in the comments as well. Well, thank you all so much for joining today. I look forward to sharing more Mondays with you. If you had fun today, make sure to join us next Monday. Spread the word. Past episodes and this episode will be on our Facebook page for a replay. Thank you so much for tuning in. From everyone at Arts for All, we hope you have a wonderful week.